Hello, 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 and good morning and happy Friday. It is Lisa Anderson, strategic business advisor and million-dollar mentor with the Novel Transformation Solutions. And today is Friday the 13th. And I mean, my goodness, Friday the 13th. And here we are in the United States of America and abroad, throughout the world, quite frankly. And we are sitting here on Friday the 13th, concerned about the spread of a virus. Um, I was having a conversation with one of my clients yesterday, and we were talking about the 2020 vision. And for certain, we did not expect this virus as part of our 2020 vision. But nonetheless, we got to keep the trains moving and keep things going. Good morning, Kimberly. Thank you for joining in, my friend. It's good to see you out here this morning. So I want to start really quickly with a quote. And this quote comes from one of my go-to books. It's John Maxwell's Daily Reader. And it's, quick snippets that he provides in the book on a daily basis. And when I go to read March 13th, it's pretty amazing to me how these things kind of fall in line and in sync with one another. But I'm going to read directly from his March 13th insert, which says, expand beyond routine. Expand beyond routine. One of the greatest impediments to meeting new people is routine. We often go to the same places all the time, the same gas stations, the same coffee shop, the same grocery store, and the same restaurants. We employ the same providers of services. We use the same companies for our business. It's just easy, but sometimes we need to shake things up and try something new. It's all about getting outside of your comfort zone. So this morning on Friday the 13th, I want to talk a little bit about what I feel about the coronavirus and how it is impacting me and my business and things that we are doing about it, and how, quite frankly, it is forcing us to get outside of our routine. So first, I want to share what I originally thought about the virus. In the very beginning, when it was far away from the United States, and it was in China and Italy and other places. I thought it was just conspiracy theory, actually. I thought it was, something that was fabricated, something that we shouldn't necessarily be concerned about. And I wasn't in the beginning. But, I'm a numbers person, and I believe that numbers tell a story and they don't lie. And I like to look at statistics, and I like to let the numbers tell me when I should act and when I shouldn't. And in this particular case, almost as soon as I let those words come out of my mouth that I didn't necessarily feel concerned for the virus, suddenly the numbers started to come in, and now I'm concerned, as is everybody else. And so, again, I like to look at statistics, and while some of the numbers don't necessarily make sense. So for example, we live in the state of Maryland. That's where I live. And there are thousands upon thousands of people here in the state of Maryland, but there are only 9 instances of the virus here. So when we look at the state of pandemonium that's happening right now, I went to the grocery store last night to pick up a few things, and I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe the experience. I don't think I've ever been in a grocery store where there were no parking spaces in the parking lot. 0. And the lines were wrapped around the store. Never seen that before. So, people are in a panic. But when we look at the numbers in the state of Maryland, it doesn't seem like, we should be that concerned. However, when we look at how things are spreading, I was looking at the CDC charts last night and taking a look at how things have quickly increased. You start with 1, it kind of trickles in, and then it becomes a huge widespread issue in certain areas like Washington State and New York. So when you look at that, so we should be concerned. So what are we doing about the virus here at my Novel Transformation Solutions and with my with me personally? So first of all, I believe in safety and health first. That's always going to be key. You hear me talking about that from a CEO perspective all the time, safety and health first. So what we're doing is, number one, we've decided to self-isolate. I sent my staff home. We're actually all working remotely now. We will be working remotely for, who knows how long until it's necessary. But we are doing those things. I actually have a private event that with my mastermind group that was scheduled for next Friday. We are still going to have it, but it's going to be virtual instead of face to face. And it'll feel like face to face because we'll be in a chat room. So that's something that we're doing differently. I am checking off my to-do list. I am just immediately coming off of my busy season, and it's been crazy. So this virus and causing us to isolate a little bit is not forcing me, it's giving me the space and the room to check off my to-do list. And so I told somebody yesterday that this is a great time to get back to your strategy and get back to execution. Take a look at all the things that you said you wanted to do this year. And if you haven't had an opportunity to do some things, use this time to check off your list and get it done, so that when things start to ramp up again and start to get busy again and people are reconnecting again, then you already have those things in place and you're ready to rock and roll. So I'm getting back to my to-do list. And I think the last thing that I'm doing is I'm making certain that I'm spending quality time with my family, because now we are all locked into these four walls. And it's not to say that we can't get out, because we will get out, we will be out and about, but we will be spending a lot more time together. So my daughter sent me a link to a movie that happened about 9 years ago. It's called Contagion. I'm gonna be watching that today, because that movie talks about what we're experiencing right now. And I think if we go back and watch the movie, there may be some solutions there. So I'm going to take a look at that also. But I'm also looking at lessons learned in this process. And so we have a strategy in place. We've been a pretty remote, I won't say remote, but virtual organization for years. That was one of the game changers for us. It was our $1 million strategy that put us on the 7-figure mark many, many years ago. And so we've been operating in that capacity for a really long time. But now getting into the idea of working remotely meaning not necessarily from a brick and mortar office space, but being able to work from the comforts of your own home. We're doing that now too. However, some of the lessons that I've learned in this process is, number one, don't panic, because panic never works. Instead, be strategic. Think through the process, be forward motion, think beyond this immediate moment. Think about some of the things that beyond yourself that people are going to need, that people need right now. I had a conversation with another small business yesterday that happens to be in the insurance industry, and she's thinking about the things that other people are not thinking about right now. And she's going to be able to capitalize on those things because she's thinking about it now. She's putting certain things in place now, because when they start thinking about it and it starts to become a concern, she will already be a resource there ready to capture that business. So don't panic, be strategic. And you probably can hear my grandson in the background because he's very happy this morning. The other thing I learned is invest now. Invest now. I refuse to look at my retirement accounts. I will not do that because we already know that the market has dropped significantly. In fact, it's the greatest drop in history. They're saying, that's what I'm hearing. And so I'm not looking at my retirement accounts, because I know I've been through this before. In 2008, when the real estate market dropped, everybody lost significantly in their retirement accounts, but guess what? They came back, they bounced back. And so I'm not concerned about that. It will bounce back. But what I will do is I will invest in things now, because everything is low. Flights are low. My daughter was looking at the cost of airlines yesterday from here to Hawaii, $275. That's crazy. So invest now. That's what I'll be doing. And then the last lesson that I've learned is it's time to upgrade systems. As we are in the process of implementing new processes, we are also recognizing that there are certain gaps that we need to fill in order to be effective in that space. And so we are in the process of implementing new programs. This morning, we started working with Teams. That's a Microsoft product for collaboration. And so we implemented that today. It is working well. I am going to be upgrading our computer systems so that we can be effective while we're being remote, and taking a look at some of the other things, tools that we use, and the other things that we can do to be more effective. So I just wanted to jump on this Friday morning to say, get outside of your comfort zone. Don't panic in this moment. Be strategic. Check off your to-do list. Get your things done. Get ahead of the game so that at the end of the day, when this is all blown over, in a few weeks, it's going to be all blown over. And when it is, you will come out on top. So I thank you guys for joining in. I see a few of you in the chat. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining in. Have a great Friday, a great weekend. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye-bye.